Good evening. Tonight, I'd like to review a pipe tobacco. And it's actually probably my absolute favorite, which is pretty hard to say because I smoke a lot of tobacco. And currently on my shelf, there's probably 15 or so tobaccos. But the one I'd like to share with you this evening is Morton Cellar. Now, if you're not familiar with Morton series, there are about 5. There's the original Morton. Then they have Morton over the pond, Morton on the town, Morton across the pond, and Morton Cellar. I may be forgetting one or two. Now, they're pretty much a variation on a theme. Morton Cellar is McClelland's Craftberry series. I don't know if that's specific to Morton, but it is basically Latakia in Virginia. Morton Cellar is pretty much the same thing, except that the tobacco has been flavored with Morton's whiskey. And if you open up the tin, you will find a chunk of a whiskey cask. As you can see, it's kind of curved, so you can imagine the whiskey barrel. Charred oak barrel. Oh, and I love whiskey. In fact, I have a little bit of Jameson's Irish whiskey going right now. But I do find that, surprisingly, a really nice mug of ale or porter is going to go real good with this. Personally, I think that this is, well, it's classified as an English blend, but to be honest, it's really almost aromatic. It's kind of a hybrid. I'll call it a hybrid. Because, well, if you smoke it and if you smoke enough different blends, you're going to notice that, yeah, it is a bit of a hybrid. Although it is classified as English, but probably because of the amount of Latakia in it. Although, I'm going to say that classifying an English blend is really kind of vague in a sense that when you classify any type of blend, I mean, it's blended for an English taste. So McClelland is an American tobacco company, and they specialize in Virginias, from what I gather, and they do a real good job. In fact, I have some Christmas Cheer 2013, which you've seen me review. I also have some Backwoods Flake, which is incredible, which I will yet to review. But I'm going to say that personally I don't find this an English blend. This is really an aromatic, and it's an aromatic with a lot of Kia in it. And I really recommend that you give it a try. I think for a wide variety of pipe smokers, you're going to find this awesome. Strength-wise, it's not that strong. I'd say this is a pretty medium blend. I've been knocked out by Royal Yacht, Dunhill's Royal Yacht. I really don't like it, to be honest. I love it in the sense that I love the flavor, but I want to vomit after I smoke a bowl of it. In fact, I nearly did. I had a pipe similar to this size. This is my Peterson System Standard Bent Dublin. I had a bowl about this size of it, and I was pretty ill, to be honest, and I've been pretty turned off on it, and that's actually kept me from trying other these strong blends. Now, a lot of people say that Nightcap is is pretty strong, and I've only had a couple of bowls of Nightcap, and I don't know, Nightcap's pretty strong, but Royal Yacht, I think it must have been the circumstance that I smoked it in. It was just pretty harsh for me. But I digress. Anyway, the Morton series is basically like I said, a variation on a theme. It's Latakia in Virginia. Morton on the town is a Oriental. They add a little bit of Oriental to it. Morton on the bayou, as you might expect, adds Perique, which I am a big fan of Perique. And in a later review, my phone's actually sitting on the tin, is Sutliff's Berkshire, which is absolutely one of my top 5 tobaccos. I love Sutliff Private Reserve Berkshire. That one deserves a lot of credit. It is a very rich Latakia. Very rich in Perique, Orientals, and Virginias it has, but it is the Latakia and Perique that really kicks ass. It is if you took a Balkan and you took it to the next level. I'll just say that. Go out and buy it, smokingpipes.com. They have it, and they'll send it to you. Anyway, so we'll talk about Morton Cellar. So, I've been smoking Morton Cellar for quite a long time, probably 6 months. And it is 100% my favorite tobacco. I am a real big fan of heavy, rich Latakias. And this one is basically Latakia, and I would say probably not a whole lot of Virginia. I mean, okay, let's take a pinch out of it and we'll take a look. When you look at it, you can see, I don't know if you can see very well, you can see that there is quite a lot of black, and that black is actually the Latakia. And if you can see this kind of gold here, that's the red Virginia. From what I've read online, that is red Virginia. It's flue-cured red Virginia. And the Latakia is basically just standard McClellan Latakia, I would suppose. I would assume it's what they would put in their blending Latakia. I'm not sure, to be honest. But what they do is they flavor it with their Morton whiskey. Now, the term Morton comes from The Lord of the Rings, which is personally my favorite book of all time. Morton is an area of the East Farthing? Well, you can look on a map. I think it's in the north. Morton is an area of the Shire in The Lord of the Rings. Frog actually is Hobbit speak for swamp. So Swamp Morton is actually what it is. So Morton is maybe bog, so Bog Morton, I'm not sure. But as a huge fan of The Lord of the Rings, I really took a liking to that. McClellan also makes some other Lord of the Rings series. There's also, they have the Grey Havens, and I'm not sure if that's their Craftsberry line, but they also have Grey Havens. So if anybody who is a fan of The Lord of the Rings, who's read The Lord of the Rings, you all know that the Grey Havens is where the elves go to die, I suppose. I mean, if you've seen the movie, which doesn't do the book any justice, then you'll know that the Grey Havens is where Frodo takes that boat to with Elrond and them. They go to the Grey Havens. Anyway, so let's get into the tobacco. So I have a bowl here about halfway gone. I'm going to relight. And we'll talk about it. Now, immediately from the tin, you're greeted with this really sweet smell, and I wouldn't even call it whiskey. And after a while, I guess you could say it's sweetened with whiskey. But I don't know what to call that smell. It reminds me of a sweetened black Cavendish. I don't know if you would call it a Captain Black Cavendish. It is a very classic pipe smoke smell. It's when you were a little kid and you smelled that old man walking by with that pipe hanging out of his mouth, that guy. For me, I think it was my grandfather. It has that sweet smell. It's very wonderful. It tastes wonderful. It is very rich. Like I said, this is a borderline aromatic to me. It's classified as an English blend, but personally, I think it's an aromatic. Smoke it and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. And I think you can classify it as an English blend because personally, this is my Peterson XL315 system standard P-lip. My absolute favorite pipe in the whole world, and if you don't have a Peterson system pipe in your collection, well, you really need to get one, and it doesn't matter what shape. I personally really like the bent Dublin because of the way that it fits in my hand. I think that the Dublins are really just ergonomically designed so that they really fit very well when you're smoking them. And of course, the system stem is designed for leverage so that it doesn't really put a lot of wear on your jaw. And I'm kind of a right-hand side kind of guy. So this typically hangs from the right-hand side of my jaw. Or I guess it would be left. Excuse me. I guess I'm dyslexic. But it's really nice to hang from here. Anyway. Get yourself a Peterson pipe if you don't have one. I'm a Peterson brand whore. I love them. They're awesome. So anyway, Morton Cellar is going to be real sweet. This is a very dessert. I call it a dessert tobacco. Strength-wise, I mean, this is not your everyday smoke. This is not something you're going to light in the morning. Personally, I mean, you teach your own, you know. But for me, this is not. This is really what I would consider a nightcap, and we talked about nightcap earlier. This is a nightcap tobacco for me. This is one where I've had a huge turkey dinner for Christmas, whatever. I've had a huge dinner, I've had dessert, and I've had a few, and I'm looking for real good smoke. This is it. It's very rich. It's very deep. This is one of a lot of people's favorite tobaccos. If you go to tobaccoreview.com, you will see that if you click on English and you sort by the highest rating, this is easily in the top 10. Personally, it is my absolute favorite. Now, my favorite tobacconist from my hometown, Santa Barbara, California, they have a Yorkshire blend. And I believe that Yorkshire, because from what I've spoken to him, because Matt, his name is, Matt Lambert, I believe. Matt Lambert, wonderful guy. If you're ever in Santa Barbara, California, is 100% worth the trip to go to Santa Barbara Tobacco on the corner of Figueroa and State Street, just a little bit back. He is 100% an absolute professional tobacconist and is worth seeing, and he's worth the trip. He is very knowledgeable and is an incredible pipe smoker, pipe tobacco blender. I think he specializes in cigars, but really I mean, if he specializes in cigars and how wonderful his pipe blends are, I mean, that just tells you that you need to visit. And plus, I mean, just it's sbcigarandtobacco.com, or just Google Santa Barbara Cigar and Tobacco and just look at their site. It's seriously, it's a place you need to visit. I think they also have one in Texas somewhere. Anyway, they have a blend, their Yorkshire blend. And now I've talked about their Matt's blend, which is absolutely wonderful. But their Yorkshire blend is a pretty much, I would say, 90% Latakia, and probably Turkish and Oriental, or Oriental and Virginia, or something in there. It's very heavy Latakia, but it is an extremely mellow smoke. And from what he told me, because all of his blends are secret, of course, that it is primarily McClellan, as well as his Matt's blend, which I think I have the secret recipe because I've done a lot of research on this. And Matt's blend is one we will do. And I have a Peterson Kinsale Bulldog pipe, P-lip, that I bought. That is, it was originally going to be my Virginia pipe, but it just didn't do it. I couldn't smoke Virginias from it. And I ended up making it my dedicated aromatic. And as I'm really not a very big aromatic guy anymore, I do appreciate aromatics as a break from my everyday smoking of mainly English or Balkan. Santa Barbara Cigar and Tobacco, again, great Balkan. If you know the Balkan, what is it, Balkan, I want to say Balkan Savinelli. It's not, it's Balkan something. And you know what I'm talking about. And that stuff is good. A friend of mine gave me a pinch of that, and it was good. And their Balkan is better. And they do actually, to be honest, as we were talking about Nightcap, they do have their own version of Nightcap that I actually, as soon as I get back there, because I'm living in Singapore, I'm going to try that, to be honest. Anyway, Morton Cellar, my number one absolute favorite. It's a must try. If you are a pipe smoker, if you're a novice pipe smoker, if you're an aromatic only, if you're kind of wanting to get into English or anything a lot of Kiara, you don't know, or whatever level of pipe smoker you are, if you have not tried any of the Mortons, then you need to try Morton Cellar. Absolutely have to. And you've got to try the other Morton series. Morton is McClellan's flagship tin. Flagship blend, I guess? I don't know. But you have to try it. Anyways, cheers.